she was upset. She did not deny it, though. So we're just catching up on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives drama.
You know how it is.
We know how it is. I got Shoff into it. I'm a bad influence.
What's crazy is you introduced me to it last week.
And now he's seen all of it. He just finished season 3.
I have binged 3 seasons. What? Of the show, and each season was like 10 episodes or something.
And they're all like an hour each.
Yeah.
But it's so bingeable. Like you want to know what really happens next. It's really.
I had dreams about them last night because it was the last thing I watched before bed, and then they were just like
what
there.
Kind of dreams?
But no, I wish honestly, like it would have been nice if there was something mildly sexual, but it wasn't. It was just them hashing out more of their drama in front of me.
And you just got to be there.
Yeah, I was just
got to join the circle of truth.
I didn't like the way you spoke to me this one time, and this one guy did this.
I just feel like for me, I just thought at the party, like I thought, I could probably like reenact this. Before we start, I have something to say. So last week I did tell you that my physics professor had spoiled something huge in Enterprise for me. And we talked about it yesterday, and he has requested a formal public apology for slandering him on the podcast. So Dr. Fuse, I am sorry that I did not stick up for you when Shoff told you were going to burn in hell. I am sorry. Please don't fail me out of the major. I'm super excited for Quantum next semester. I still wish I didn't know that about, the spoiler that you said. I'm not going to spoil it for Vactor. Yeah. End scene.
Do I need to say something? Maybe I don't wish you a private corner of hell, but I will say that going forward, you should mind your P's and Q's when it comes to spoilers, and really do your part to make sure that everyone gets a fair shake of the material and the content.
To be fair, he made a very good point, which was when I was like, I wasn't alive when it came out and I couldn't watch it live. He said, how many times have you rewatched Voyager? He said, more than once. And I said, yes. He said, more than twice. I said, yes. He said, more than 3 times. And I said, yes. He goes, so one of those times you could have watched Enterprise.
No, I'm team Linda on this. You're allowed to rewatch as many times as you want to watch.
Vactor, that shouldn't be my team symbol. I don't know what it is, but we got to come up with another one.
Yeah, that was almost a loser.
This is the like, listen, I don't want to be like
no,
from like middle school.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I don't wish terrible things to happen to you, professor. But I would say let's not play so fast and loose with these spoilers in the future. Ask somebody first. There's a reason
why.
I
did kind of spoil Prodigy for him, but I also kind of did it on purpose.
Nice. Okay. Well,
and it wasn't really a big spoiler. I just told him there was a character that had like an arc in season 2, because there is a character that has a really good arc in season 2. The character, like a legacy character.
Yeah, because like our format, doing an episode a week, it's going to take us a while to get to what
it is.
But he spoiled for you.
I was thinking about it. I might, probably not until the summer, but when the summer starts, I might go ahead and watch ahead and finish it, and obviously still go back and watch for the review, only because it's going to be Voyager's 30th at STLV, in addition to Star Trek's 60th, or sorry, not Voyager, Enterprise's, I always say Voyager, Enterprise's 30th at STLV, in addition to Star Trek 60th, and I want to be able to do all the Enterprise stuff, because I know they're going to have a lot of it, so I think finishing it before I go, but I'm still obviously going to stay and like still rewatch the episodes and as we continue to watch, but I think I might like watch ahead too, just so I know what's going on there. So there's nothing that I'm like, no, I can't go to that, because I don't want to be spoiled, because it's going to get spoiled there anyway. So,
well, that was our cold opening. Yeah. You're listening to Treknopod, where 3 captains chart a course through the best and boldest of season 1 of Enterprise. I am Captain Vactor. I'm taking the reins today. I'm here with the other lovely co-captains. First off, Linda Paiges, how are you doing? A year older and a year wiser.
Yes, I turned 21 on November 11th. Super exciting.
And she's feeling 22. Okay. And
not yet.
We've also got another one who is 22 in his heart, Captain Shoff, who is a little bit under the weather today. But Shoff, besides being under the weather, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this all week, and I'm excited to unpack another episode of Enterprise with my best friends.
Oh yeah, we got
Trekkie besties.
We got Trekkie Besties here. That's the new name of the podcast. Welcome back to Trekkie Besties. We are the besties, and we're talking about season 1, episode 15, Shadows of Pajam and the Hologram. So I want to talk about this one. This episode first aired in February of 2022, and it brings back our old pal from the Andorian incident. I want to hear, because Shoff is such a huge Jeffrey Combs fan. Shoff, what did you think about Shadows of Pajam?
You know, it's weird because last week when I was like hinting at this episode, I kind of played it up like, oh, it's going to be real good. It's going to be a great episode. And then I watched it, and I got to say, I didn't love it. I kind of felt it was kind of middle of the road to me. It kind of felt like it didn't have a trajectory, truly. Like it felt a little listless. It also felt like it was rehashing concepts that I feel like Enterprise already kind of put to bed, which is the idea that TPol is part of the Enterprise crew, like that she's chosen to be here, which is only further, made a point in this episode. So like, I think overall for me, it kind of was a little bit meh. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't great. And I don't think there was anywhere near enough Shran in my personal opinion. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I can't take any of the Andorians seriously. I just can't do it. I'm watching this. They wiggle. And it's like, they don't move enough where it's like super slow and mesmerizing. So you're just like, it's like a fish tank. I could watch like a fish tank of just like the Andorian antennas. I'm obsessed with them.
What was
great? Do people who cosplay Andorians, do they get their antennas to move? I kind of want to cosplay an Andorian. Yes. Like I want my antennas. I would be like doing this.
There's that one shot in the episode before we see the Andorians where we see like their silhouette and their shadow, and you can see like the things moving. And I'm like, I was so happy because like I could just like picture your faces, specifically like Linda, how much she loves like all these little like moving antennas.
I love the little moving antennas. They're so cute. Yeah. I'm so obsessed. Yeah, I wonder if like someone makes that like in the cosplay world, like if what they sell is these like motorized antennas.
They must.
Someone has to.
I would think so.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, Captain Linda, what did you think of Shadows of Pajam? Shoff was meh on it. How are you?
I liked it. I always love a good, oh my god, this main character was shot. What's gonna happen? Like, are they gonna live? They're injured. Like, I always love a moment like that. So I obviously knew TPol was gonna be okay, so I wasn't too worried about that. Feel like Enterprise is exploring a lot of the same themes, but I'm not necessarily upset about it. I think at first I was like, oh, they're doing the same thing over and over again, but that's what Enterprise is supposed to be. Like, it's these early years, and these are the things that they're dealing with. Like, these are the reoccurring themes, and you have to deal with it over and over and over again in order like to create rules around it. So I am making my peace with the tension between the Vulcans and the humans. Obviously, it's not what we're used to. Also, the Vulcans are, other than TPol, the Vulcans are so emotional. And at first, I think early on, that really annoyed me, and I couldn't tell whose fault that was, if it was writers, directors, actors combination. But I think the longer we see that, the less I am annoyed I am about it, because Vulcan lore, it's actually consistent with Vulcan lore, or canon Vulcan. Oh my god. Canon Vulcan lore. Say that 5 times fast. Because Vulcans actually do have really strong emotions, obviously, as we know, and they had to learn how to suppress them because they were killing each other, and they were too violent, and they were too emotional all the time. So this makes me think that like this is hundreds of years before, even TOS. So this makes me think like, okay, Vulcans are just like in that transitional phase where it's like they don't have it as under control as they will by the time we get to TOS, and then even like TNG, Voyager, D69. So I feel better about it with that mindset, where it's like, okay, they're still learning, like they have it mostly under control, but they still like they can't get their anger all the way under control yet. But it's so much better than where they started, that to them this is emotionless, because comparatively it just doesn't hold a candle. So that's I know that I'm like thinking way too hard about this, but like I have to make peace with it.
No, it's good. It's good because it kind of makes you think that humans are just so triggering for Vulcans that they haven't clocked enough time with us yet as of the events of Enterprise for them to be like over the hump and then therefore being more stoic in that way that we're used to seeing them and emotionless. So we're seeing them acting out or, having definite being perturbed. Like you can just see the look on their faces. But I think you're right. I think they just need to clock more time with Starfleet.
Well, that's the one emotion that Vulcans always seem to feel is annoyance, like all the time. Like they always seem to be able to be annoyed, which I do think is funny because it's like, yeah, we've suppressed everything, but humans are so, or in Tuvok's case, Talaxians are just so annoying. They get on our nerves so much that we just can't help but express that to them.
I think it is comedy. They're playing it for laughs for sure. I enjoyed this episode, but with a few caveats. There's a couple things that I feel like this show has so much potential to be like one of my favorite Trek shows, but then they'll go and do something like, all right, here's her boobs in his face. Whee! That was funny. Like,
can we talk about the scene where they're trying to face each other in the ropes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I can roll my eyes hard enough.
Like, what I was like, why is this here? It feels like it's from a different show. It's like the humor is trying to be something that it just doesn't belong.
He goes, maybe we should face each other. Maybe we should face each other. Why don't you
that was
turn
another
around?
thing. I was like, are they trying to play up a romance between them? Like, is this supposed to be?
That's what it came. It was like a setup because like then they're looking at each other and I'm like, okay, now kiss.
Yeah.
Like if you're in that position with someone, if you're like, okay, if you're roped together and you're like, you're gonna kiss, like that's what happens in that situation, right? Like I feel like that's like it was the way they were looking at each other and like all the tension because they were just fighting. Like that. This is it was a fan fiction, is what it was. I felt like I was watching a fanfic. That's not a real Star Trek plot. That is absolutely 110% a TPol times Archer fanfic.
Yeah.
I said what I said. That belongs. It belongs on AO3.
So I have some trivia related to this.
Tell us,
just to kind of like enlighten you folks. So
tell us, Shoff.
The falling that happened with her landing her chest on Archer's face, which I described in my notes as Archer accidentally motorboating to Paul's Vulcans. I was like, was this planned? Like, was this planned? Like, did they rehearse this? Was this choreographed? And I found evidence to say that it happened completely unchoreographed. That the way they fell, she fell on his face that way.
And they kept it in?
And both of them kept their, like, they didn't like break character at all. They kept, in the scene, and then when the scene ended, they both started cracking up and lost it and thought it was like super funny, and so they kept it in.
Really?
Oh, he's got a scene. He's just got a picture up. I also, in addition to that, the stunt coordinator, Vince Dedrick Jr., he was interviewed. He says, we wrapped for the night. He said the next morning we were supposed to start with that same sequence with them on top of each other back in position. And the sound department put on the song Love Shack really loud over the speakers. And it was a great way to break the ice for the morning. So everyone got a big laugh out of it. So she had to replace her boobs on his face, and then they started playing Love Shack. So I thought that was pretty.
That was fun. But there's just, like I said, there's moments where I'm like, man, I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying these characters. And then they'll do like now I'm blanking, the gel scene that we love so much, the one that we always talk about.
The decon chamber.
Yes, the decon chamber. They'll just do something like that. And I'm like, what? I feel like this is
it's
for the
so horny. The show is just so sexed up for no for no reason. Like, okay, in the original series, I know they had a lot of moments like this. Like they did. But it was like campy, like it was supposed to be like over the top and like kind of cheesy sometimes, and like so it didn't feel, it was also, the 60s, so it didn't feel, I don't know, when I'm watching the original series, it's just like it's obviously made in the 60s. It just doesn't feel as like in your face, over the top, because it's just like the way the show is. It feels forced in Enterprise. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Like it doesn't fit in.
And TOS, like we're talking about like Orion slave girls. So it's like usually like it's an alien species that is dressing in a scantily clad way. Whereas on Enterprise, it's always the crew finding themselves in these really like horny situations. Yeah.
Maybe it's with each other. Maybe that's the thing. Because like in TOS, it's like, okay, all the girls are in really short dresses and Kirk always has a shirt off for some reason. Every time he fights an alien, the shirt disappeared. The aliens always eat his shirts. I don't know what it is, but it's like,
my shirt, it's gone.
It's gone.
My pecs are on
the Gorn display. So I don't know. Maybe it's the sex appeal without it like being horny though. Like maybe those are two different things. Maybe this is what Jerry Ryan was getting at when she was talking about like 709's costume when she was doing her panel at Trek to Orlando, because she was like, the character wasn't like that. It was just the costume. Like, and maybe that's what TOS was like. Because they did have moments, but I feel like they didn't have these like sexy moments with each other though. Like no one was rubbing anything on each other. I'm saying that it's been a while since I've rewatched TOS, but I don't know. Like it just feels so. It's like plots that shouldn't be sexy somehow. We're now making it weirdly sexual for no good reason.
And when TPol is in the medical bay, in sick bay, towards the end of the episode, she's wearing her undies that she would wear in the decon chamber. Granted, like the blanket she's got on or whatever, like is covering like her midriff. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, she's wearing like the legit same thing that she's wearing in the decon chamber. And I just think that's so wildly inappropriate to have like a bunch of people like standing over her while she's laying in this like medical bay and she's wearing this like skimpy
in her underwear.
Midriff. Yeah, exactly. It's just like she could be still wearing her clothes or like a hospital gown or something. Like I don't understand why everyone has to be in their underwear in the sick bay. I don't get it.
I don't either, because like this is also not a thing in any of the other. I feel like maybe a couple times, I don't know. We very rarely see any Star Trek characters when they're in sickbay. We very rarely see them in like hospital clothes. Like I feel like we always see them in just their normal uniforms. And I'm thinking the only exception I can think of, I'm sure there are others, is at the end of Threshold they have Janeway and Paris in like the like hospital gown looking things. But so it just feels weird in Enterprise. Like we took her uniform off, but we left her in underwear. Like no hospital gown for you because you're pretty. Like that just feels very like, it just weird. Like I don't know how they got in that situation. Like yeah
it felt like, I don't know if this is probably before your time, Linda, Maxim magazine when I was in high school was like the big thing for guys. It was Axe body spray and Maxim magazine. These are the things that everybody loves. And this felt like it was like for that audience. Like these are the alpha bros. These guys would love this. This is going to be great. She's got her boobs in his face. This is going to be great. And I'm like, I'm here for the political drama between the Andorians and the Vulcans. And like, I'm trying to watch this show and they're over here trying to give me this show. And I'm like, can I get back
and
to
that's always when mom and dad walks in the room. You know, that's how it goes.
Thank God I just like lock the door when I'm watching Enterprise. Not like I've learned, like none of my roommates can come in because it's like, what the hell are you watching?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched the pilot with my dad and I was like, I love you, never again. This is not a show we're watching. It's too much. We can't do this. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't get any more Archer in the shower scenes. We need more of these scenes, guys. Like I just
yeah. I think for every time they have TPol in her underwear, they should give us a scene with Archer in his underwear. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Come on, equality, people.
I don't know what's coming down the line here, but it's just, as I'm watching this, I'm trying to watch it as if I'm watching it as it's airing. And I'm like, I want this show to be, every episode is fantastic, amazing. Like I'm just loving it. And this episode, although I will say the cold open on this one, we talked about last week, like what some of these cold opens, like they don't seem to be related or to.
You're right.
I thought we were okay. I thought Paramount showed me a trailer for Starfleet Academy as it went into this, so I thought it was still part of the trailer, and I was like, what is going on? This is like a really long, and then it like hit me. I was like, oh, it's because it started with the San Francisco skyline, so I thought they were Starfleet Academy, and I was like, what's happening? It took me a while to realize, and when I was like, oh, this is the episode, so I'd go back and restart it, because I was like, I don't know where the trailer ended. Yeah, I was very excited that we're on Earth.
Yes, I felt like this one was actually, hey, this is relevant to what's going on in the episode. So I did, which is like nice,
because we were just talking about that. So
yeah. So kudos to the people who made the show, the writers. They saw this, they listened to our podcast, they traveled in time, then they went back in time, and then they made this episode. So they were already answering us as if we were putting out the podcast weekly as the show is coming out. So I did like that. I gotta ask Shoff, as I said earlier, the biggest Jeffrey Combs fan on the episode. What did you think about him coming back and the Shran Archer frenemy relationship? I paid you back. My debt is paid. What did you think, Shoff?
Well, that's the fun part about the two of them, is that there's this need to, I guess, meet in the middle. Like they've always got to, like, you know, they owe each other something. And that's kind of like the fun play that's happening for the two of them consistently throughout the show, because this will not be the last time we see Shran. We'll see him again.
Yay! I want all the antenna.
Yeah. Yay! And honestly, that relationship that he has with Archer only gets better and better, and it's such a cool bromance that kind of happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like, if I'm going to spoil anything, I'm just going to say, like, they have a really great dynamic, the two of them, and it's fun to see it in its early stages because it only gets better from there.
Good.
And, you know, kudos to Enterprise for showing Andorians, because most of the other shows have stayed away. Like, they've never really focused on Andorians or shown them. And so we get to see them in this pre-Federation phase when they're at odds with the Vulcans, which is so ironic because humans, Vulcans, Andorians, those are three of like the four main species that form the Federation. So like, to look at these races that have such animosity towards each other, and to know that potentially within the confines of our show, they're going to find some common ground and make peace, and it's going to be cool. So I love whenever the Andorians appear, because they are so vicious, so belligerent. I have a bit of a red Shoff, you know, in me, but maybe I should be a blue Shoff. Because when the Andorians, you know, get going, like, and they get mad, I can relate to that.
So I did just find, I didn't just basically a quick Google search. I'm going to dive deeper into this because now I kind of want to cosplay an Andorian just for the antennas, but I did find not a way to just straight up buy moving antennas, but someone did post a how-to guide on how to make them, and it has like the code that they used there so that you can copy and paste it to like make them move, and all of the wait, hang on, I'll put it in the chat so someone can pull it up. But this is pretty cool, and like all the parts that you need and like how to make them, and now I totally want to build my own antennas.
Yes,
my hair's already the right color. Maybe Andorian is the right thing for me to cosplay.
Maybe you should be, hey, in Vegas we could totally do a day where we're Andorians.
Oh, that'd be fun. Wow, that'd be cool.
Yes,
I'm totally down. I will make, if I make this, I'll make you a pair too. And maybe I'll make like, I know like my parents and like they won't do the whole cosplay, like I'm not gonna paint them blue, but I will make them antennas as well so that they can walk around with
yes. Oh my gosh.
Antennas. That's right, Dad.
Yes.
You're gonna wear Andorian antennas in Vegas.
That's hilarious.
All right, we need to.
I swear, if we show up with moving antenna at Star Trek Las Vegas, we're gonna be the hit of the convention for sure.
I'm so down. This is like a STEM girly's dream. I'm so excited. I didn't know, like I didn't even consider that I could build it. Like that's so cool.
That's a perfect marriage of skills
awesome.
Right there.
Yeah, I'm totally doing this. I'm gonna work on making them, even if I don't use them for anything. I just want moving antenna because they're so cool. They're so mesmerizing.
Yes,
I love
Linda. What did you think about the progression, if any, of TPol's character? What does this episode move her forward in any way, or is she just kind of like the damsel in distress, like an object for them to, you know, we have to, this is what's pushing us forward, is we have to help her and she's not having any agency. What did you think about TPol's character in this episode?
I definitely have never seen her as a damsel in distress, but even if that's narratively how they're treating her or what they're using her for in the narrative, that's not who she is at all, and not like she's separated from whatever part she's playing in the narrative. That makes sense. Like, however, they're fighting over where to keep her, but she's not like, no, like I have to fall. It's just like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, she's not Princess Buttercup from Princess Bride, you know, like she's got some agency. And I think like, yeah, they're throwing stones here. Buttercup just caught astray there.
Put the reality TV down and watch Princess Bride.
No, listen.
Is the Princess Bride a Mormon who is cheating on her husband? Because if that's the case,
you gotta watch Shoff, maybe.
Okay, total side note, and this is a question for Shoff.
Yes.
Which Secret Lives of Mormon Wives mom talk girl do you think would fit in best with the Enterprise crew, and where would she be? Like, what role would she be playing?
Tell us, Shoff.
That's a good question. Come back to me. I gotta think about it. Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm gonna say Taylor.
Yeah,
Taylor gets shit done. Yeah. I would trust her, and I don't know what she's doing on Enterprise, but she's there and she's getting shit done. Like she's
probably got no problem being in that decon chamber. She's dressing like TPol.
I feel like Taylor would, like I would trust her. Like if I was on an away mission with her, I'm like, oh, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Yeah.
Man.
Okay, it's a good answer. I'm gonna keep thinking about mine. I'll come back. Come back to me.
I can't wait to hear more about Shoff's journey on the Mormon wives' lives.
There was a very brief Phlox appearance on this episode.
Phlox did not have he wasn't in this episode a lot. That made me sad.
Yeah, but we did get a very classic Phlox trope, which is stealing food off of somebody's plate.
Yeah.
Which I love that. Before he left the scene, he was like, better grab that celery off of TPol's plate, which I love seeing that.
That was fantastic.
The dynamic of switching roles, sort of like as if TPol was the captain and Archer was the quote unquote steward. I thought that was funny in this episode. Also, the way Archer said steward, like he was like shocked, is the exact way that I responded to learning the casting results of Into the Woods when I got cast as the steward. Steward? Really? I'm not the baker?
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm not Cinderella's prince?
I could totally see you doing Agony too. Like that. I just feel like you belong in that number.
I'm more painful than yours.
I've had casting moments like that where it's like, are you sure?
Yeah, they're like, we would rather cast you as the cow. Are we committed
to this? Moo.
You're Milky White.
Okay, our Milky White was like an actual. It was a piece, which was super exciting. So was Cinderella's horse. Cinderella's horse was one of the largest set pieces I've ever worked with ever, and it literally only had the one appearance, like at the end of Act 1, just went across the stage. So it took up like half of wing for this one 30-second scene, and then it took up half of the other wing, and we had to like bring it around the back. It was such a disaster every time. I was no, it was, I mean, it was really well directed. It was always funny to us that it was like we had this ginormous set piece that was on loan that took up so much space for like just for aesthetics for this one scene. Yeah, it was great though.
So if our listeners don't know what we're talking about, maybe you're not as big into musical theater, but we're talking about Into the Woods is a Stephen Sondheim, right? Yeah, Stephen Sondheim musical, and we're talking about the various characters in it. But Milky White is Jack and the Beanstalk's cow.
And there's been some fantastic versions of Milky White. People have really gotten way too. Let's see.
I want to take a moment here because I am actually pretty proud of our Milky White. So we did a steampunk version of it, and our Milky White was just a skeleton of a cow. So it was like a paper mache like skeleton. So you would hold the
people
head
get like
with one hand, and you would
people
hold
get creative
like,
with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's
and so like you would hold like the vertebrae, and then you had to like give him like the movements.
That's not your production, is it? That's a it's a skeletal Milky White.
Well, very similar.
Yeah.
And so there were 4 of us that played the part of Milky White, and we would wear like a big cloak, something to cover us completely, so you couldn't see us, and we would have to operate Milky Way to make sure that he was like, you know, focusing on what was happening. He was like engaged in the scene. He was responding. Like, it was like a whole thing. It was a lot of fun.
Aw, baby.
So
he's just a baby.
He's just a baby.
Our Milky Way also had I'm trying to remember. I actually never interacted with the set piece at all. So I was adjacent to it. I was on stage at the same time, but I never had any part in interacting with it.
Oh, okay.
And because Little Red doesn't, or at least didn't in our production. And it had an opening, I think it was, I can't remember if it was in the top or in the stomach, or it might have been both, to put all of the like ingredients in. You have to feed the cow, obviously, the cape and the hair and the something else. Was a slipper? Were we feeding the cow the slipper? Yeah. Is that really the plot? You have to feed the cow the glass slipper? Okay. I guess that I never really thought that through that much. Okay. Yeah. But it had like a compartment in it, so you were like shoving the stuff into the cow while we were doing it. I always thought that was funny because yeah.
So the only other thing that I really got a kick out of, besides the Phlox scene, because like I said, we do a Phlox watch here on our podcast where we talk about every time Phlox appears. The other thing that made me laugh in this episode was the 2 seconds of Hoshi that we get, where she's on space-time and she's talking to the Vulcans, and sorry, cutting out. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cut to that part.
It's so human. It's so human, which I really appreciate.
We're going through a tunnel.
yeah, we're going through a spatial anomaly. Sorry, guys. It's very human. I really like how I think humans kind of still being alone at this point in the Star Trek timeline. And I know they're allied with the Vulcans, whatever, but it's tense, right? Like, it's not like a super solid allyship. I mean, they're not going to go to war. It's just they don't get along really well. I think humans still, like, not having a federation, like not being a part of like a large group like that, it allows humans to kind of be more. It lets us see their humanity more, like kind of the goofiness and the silliness of it, because it's like they're not being held to a standard they're not being held to a Federation standard, they're not being held to a Vulcan standard or a Klingon standard or whatever, so they kind of get to be more like goofy and silly and like and do things like that that are just so human. I keep saying I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I can't find another way to say it. It's like relatable. It's you know, I feel like the humans in Enterprise have been the most relatable humans I think that we've seen so far in Star Trek for that reason.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes this show stand out, because like I said in previous episodes, not having a lot of the advantages, not having a lot of the technology, it places them closer to us than TNG or Voyager or whatever.
It feels more attainable.
Makes it feel like, hey, this might be us next week. We might be going out. So yeah, I do
that
like
would be nice.
Yeah, I did want to say, or I did want to get your both of your opinions on something before we wrap up this episode. The Vulcans in this early Enterprise that we've seen so far, I've noticed that both of you have had a little bit of a reaction to TPol overall, just the way that she's portrayed in this series so far, and the way that the Vulcans in this episode that we saw. I saw online that there's a lot of fans that don't like this interpretation of the Vulcans, like almost being shady and not consistent with other portrayals of Vulcans. So I was curious, have either of you been getting any type of a vibe from the Vulcans so far in what we've seen in the first 15 episodes? I'll ask Linda first. Have you been getting any shady vibes?
I think it ties back to what I was saying earlier, which is like they're not the fully developed Vulcans that we know as Vulcans. So I actually kind of like that they're not perfect. You know, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not always morally superior. They are a little untrusting. They are a little bit shady. I also think it makes later Vulcans or earlier in shows that were created but later in the Star Trek timeline, Vulcans, more relatable, and maybe they can relate to humanity more than they let on because they themselves have not had a perfect past. And I think it gives more weight to the scenes where Vulcans, like every once in a while, Vulcan will connect with a human and be like, yeah, well, Vulcans have a pretty dark history too. So as judgmental as we come across, we actually do understand way better than you think that we do. And I think it gives more weight to those scenes. It's like, it's not that far in their history. It's not like ancient history and no one remembers. Like, it was within, like, just as, you know, the Federation was being founded and everything. So I do think, and so it also, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, this means that the Federation also made the Vulcans better. Like, we know it made humanity better. Maybe it made the Vulcans better too, though, which is a very interesting thing to me. Like, maybe the Federation means a lot more to the Vulcans than they have let on. There's a reason that they've like stuck around so long with the Federation, and it's not just because they feel like they have to keep an eye on humans. It's because their relationship with humans made them better as a species.
Yeah,
like
something to think about.
What do you think about this Vulcan portrayal so far?
You know, I think I try to keep it in perspective, knowing that this is the earliest, essentially, portrayal of Vulcans that we have on screen. I'm okay with them acting slightly, I don't know, atypical from what we've seen from, you know, whether it's BTNG or Voyager or anything else that's come after, or even Spock. You know, like I think the problem that most fans have, and I don't want to like generalize fans, but I think most people have a problem with Vulcans if all they're doing is comparing every Vulcan to Spock. Spock is just one Vulcan, but yet because he was the Vulcan that started it all for everyone on TOS, and since TOS technically came first, he created the mold, he set the standard, and if anybody is slightly off from that, they have an issue with it. And I'm just like, would you expect that of a human being? Like, that everyone has to behave exactly the same? No.
Also important to keep in mind, Spock is not fully Vulcan. He's half
exactly.
Human. So he's not even a really accurate portrayal of what Vulcan. It's like half of his character was just like this not just, but like a lot of his character development and who he was as a character was this wrestling between his Vulcan and human side. Yeah. And I think people like forget that a lot. He shouldn't be the standard by which all Vulcans are measured, because he had this internal conflict with what it meant to be half Vulcan. So and half human. So I think this is not it's not fair to compare Vulcans to him. I honestly, my favorite portrayal of a Vulcan, and I know it's Voyager, but it's not just because it's Voyager. I just genuinely think he just did a phenomenal job as Tim Russ's Tuvok. I love his portrayal of Vulcans so much. And so that's kind of the standard by which I measure Vulcans, because that to me is, we've got 7 seasons of character development from a purebred Vulcan, right? Like, meaning like not half human, half Andorian, half Klingon, whatever, but like we're fully Vulcan. So that to me is like, we should be judging other Vulcans based off of that. But again, this is hundreds of years before, so we don't really have anything to judge this by, because we haven't seen enough of. Again, I'm seeing pure Vulcans. And I feel like that sounds bad, but I can't think of another way to say it. But like, instead of being half human, we haven't seen as much of that as I think we have, if that makes sense. So I feel like there's not like a society of Vulcans that we have to judge the Enterprise Vulcans by, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
There was a lot of, I guess it was pretty divisive. There was an episode that came out just this past season of Strange New Worlds, and the episode title was 4.5 Vulcans. And it was an excellent episode. It was super funny. People thought it was a little too funny, that it was just played too hard into the comedy.
No, but that's honestly,
fun, everyone is so critical of Strange New Worlds. They do not give it a chance. But the episode
Star
did a
Trek
great job.
Fans were upset about Star Trek. I'm shocked. This is so new in our fandom. We never complain about anything, and we're always happy with the content that we get, and we're always super grateful for it and express how much we love it. So I'm shocked that there was pushback for anything at all.
No toxicity whatsoever. Yeah, you're so right.
Yes.
But the episode itself, it delved into a few members of the crew get turned into Vulcans, but the changes not only their external appearance, but also their internal like chemistry of like, they are 100% Vulcans. And they even have an issue with Spock in the episode, because Spock is only half Vulcan, and they are constantly reminding him of that. And that's why the episode is called 4.5 Vulcans. And it's really interesting, because you can see that there is a stark difference between someone who is fully Vulcan and someone who is half human, half Vulcan. And yet we as like a collective society look at Vulcans as, he's not acting like Spock, so he's not being Vulcan. And
it's not going to act like Spock.
That's not going to be a good gauge. Yeah. So, I will say that there's a couple of things kind of in this vein that I wanted to mention. So there was a 2004 interview with Cine Fantastique.
Yeah, I was born.
There we go. Great year. Where Jolene was she criticized this episode, this exact one, Shadows of P'Jem, as an example of the inconsistency and discontinuity that undermine the series. She says, in Shadows of P'Jem, they made this huge story about how Vulcans were undermining Starfleet and had some kind of agenda, but then they never went to readdress it. So
You just spoiled it, Shoff.
No.
Now we know.
No, Jolene spoiled it. I'm just reading a quote.
I have to show Dr. Pieces too, because he's be like, he spoiled it too.
Nope, I didn't spoil it. I didn't do it.
Okay, but
go ahead.
I do wish. I'm sad that they're not going to explore this plot though, because I think that would be, a really interesting path to take. I want to see the reconciliation. Like, I want to see this relationship develop over time, and I don't think that it's going to develop enough in 3 years. Like, obviously there's going to be more, or 4 years, however long Enterprise is. But I do want to see it improve. Like, I want to see it change just a little bit, at least in that time. So I am sad that they're not going to explore this, because I think them undermining Starfleet a little bit, and maybe Starfleet does the same back, like this kind of like back and forth of like who's going to come out on top, who's going to kind of win this intelligence war, so to speak, like who's going to be able to get away with more. That would have been really interesting to see as a subplot. Obviously, we're focusing on Enterprise and the crew, but this would have been interesting. And also interesting to see like how it affects TPol's relationship with the rest of the crew. Like, whose side is she taking?
Yeah.
Because maybe once in a while she's like, no, the Vulcans are wrong here. Like, Starfleet is right. I don't know why they're doing this. It doesn't make sense. And maybe that strengthens her relationship with the crew. So I don't know. This would have been an interesting thing to see. So it's sad that we're not going to get to see more of this plot. But I did like the episode. I thought it was well done in this episode. So we'll see. Sorry, Jolene.
Nice. The last thing I wanted to bring up was just that this is the first mention of the people called the Coridan, or Coridan, however you pronounce it.
Those are the people on the planet, right?
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, they're having civil war.
Yes. So although this is the first mention of them in Enterprise, and technically that would be like the first mention in the timeline, they were established in the TOS episode Journey to Babel, and also in TNG Sarek, where they were presumably admitted into the Federation at the Babel conference in 2268, with Vulcans voting in favor of admission. And it was also noted that in the same TOS episode that Vulcan had no mining interest in Coridan. So honestly, I didn't really watch, like, I haven't seen all of TOS. And so like, there's a lot of like that stuff that just kind of fell flat for me. But if someone had said Coridan, I wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, I know that alien species. That I would never have known. So you should watch TOS. Yeah. So you can kind of cool to see like that they're not just like
disconnected
alien species.
They're
like,
setting up TOS.
Exactly.
That's really nice to see. Yeah, you should watch TOS. I think it's interesting to me that TOS is underrated in the franchise that it created. I think a lot of people hail TNG as kind of like the Star Trek. And I'm not saying TOS does not have flaws, because that would be ignorant of me to say. I am saying that it was made in the 60s, and I think it was I think, keeping in mind that it was made in the 60s, I think that the messages of the episodes still hold up very, very well today. I think it's still very relevant. And it's amazing to me how relevant it continues to be. It's definitely a comfort show. I think it's it's definitely not every Star Trek fan's favorite, and I totally understand that. Like, it's definitely like kind of harder to sit through sometimes, because we're used to kind of like more modern Trek, but it's just so worth watching. Like, it really is, because it's stuff like this too. Like, it connects a lot to the other series. They all have callbacks to it, which is nice. It's like appreciation for the one that started it all.
Another great show to watch, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And returning back to the question that Linda asked me,
yes,
I have an answer. So I think that Michaela would be great on Enterprise, because she would be a really good Vulcan, because she struggles to be in touch with her emotions and is frequently detached in that way. and therefore she would be a really good Vulcan.
Michaela as a Vulcan. That should be our Halloween costume next year. That would be awesome.
Look forward to Shoff and Linda's spin-off podcast, Secret Pods of Mormon Bods. We're going to see that pretty soon coming down the pipeline. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear that
up
podcast.
With that. That's amazing.
So good. My God, that was awesome. Holy shit.
Anything that you two do, I would love to hear, and I'm sure all of our listeners would love to hear. But guess what?
Secret Pods of Mormon Bods.
That is going to conclude.
Someone needs to trademark that.
Yeah, do it right now. Somebody's signing up for the website right now. That's going to conclude today's mission on Treknopod. Many thanks to all of our viewers, all of our listeners, but very special thanks to the two that make this show possible, Captain Shoff, Captain Linda Paiges, for joining me on this wonderful trek that we are embarking on. Captains, before we close the hailing frequencies, where can the fine people of the Federation find you on TikTok? Let's start off with Linda first.
You can find me at Linda Paiges. I post a lot about Voyager. And you can also find me at Linda Paiges on YouTube and on Instagram. And I also have a second account that I always forget to promote. My second account is at Gumby with a guitar. Gumby, because it's my chronic illness account where I talk about having EDS and POTS, and EDS is commonly referred to as the Gumby disease because it makes me able to do that. So Gumby with a guitar. Also on all platforms. Most of them, yeah.
Nice. And Shoff, you are the maven behind our TikTok account here at Treknopod. What do we got coming down the pipeline, Shoff? What's going on?
And you've recently changed your name on TikTok, I noticed.
I did, on my personal TikTok, which I don't normally talk about, but if I do always tag it whenever we
Mormon TikTok.
have our podcast clips. Shoff Brick or Shoff Bricks. I just felt like it was I need to be leaning into the Lego thing. So, which is really important because by the time we reconvene the podcast next week, the Enterprise D will have come out on the Lego website. Now, I want to put this on everybody's radar, okay? Because it is not going to be something that you can just pick up after the fact. All right. Pre-orders, it will sell out. I have no doubt it will sell out. And if you do not have a Lego store membership, I forget what they call it, Lego Insiders or something like that, make sure you do it now. Just go onto the website, set up an account, get everything all set up on there so you're good to go, because that grants you access to pre-orders, which are going to be on, for me, because I'm on the Pacific time zone, it's going to be at 9:00 on November 27th. So only 2 days from now. So if you're on the East Coast, it's going to be at midnight. But get yourself on there, and you may encounter some problems. I've done some pre-order stuff before for really, really desired sets, and it can be tough. The traffic can really be difficult on the website. So keep trying, refresh. I wish you the best of luck. I hope I get my hands on the set, but not only for the set, because while supplies last, you get the gift with purchase, which is the shuttlecraft. So with Ro Laren, yes.
Also, if you sign up for whatever Lego rewards thing or whatever, and I'm pretty sure it's free, you can be entered into a raffle or contest or whatever it is to win a Enterprise D Lego set signed by Jonathan Frakes.
Yes.
I made all of my friends do that, and then one of my friends pointed out to me, she was like, do you think if one of us wins that it'll be personalized to us, so you'll end up with a Lego set that's to Emma Jonathan Frakes? And I was like, I don't care, I'd still take it. So I made all my friends sign up, I made my boyfriend sign up, my parents, have everyone in your life make an account for you so that you have a better chance of getting Jonathan Frakes signed Lego set. May the odds be in your favor, may the force be with you.
If you don't have the money, if you don't have a credit card, sell plasma, do something.
Damn.
But
smart financial decisions, that's what we promote on this
Become
podcast.
a spicy accountant, post some pictures of yourself in the decon chamber, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Anyways, hopefully next week I will have a success story to share with y'all. I don't know if the set would be delivered by that time. It usually takes, coming from the Lego warehouse, it can take a week or so to get a shipment, but fingers crossed. Please let it happen.
I cannot wait to see that.
What about you, Vactor? Where can we find you?
I am at This Comic Cooks. I've been doing a ton of Green Lantern stuff, which is kind of related to Star Trek. They're like the Federation in space in comic books in DC Comics. But also today, Linda, did you know that at one point Wonder Woman's weakness was that anytime she's tied up by a man, she loses all of her powers. If she's tied up by a woman, then she has her full strength. But if it's by a man, then she cannot move.
That cannot be real.
True.
Is that an actual
That
real?
was an actual fact of Wonder Woman, and I posted a TikTok on it today. So if anyone's
you can
curious,
actually see the steam coming out of it.
I don't think I can roll my eyes hard enough at that. Like I don't think they can be loud enough.
They almost fell out of her head.
wait, I gotta take off the glasses so you can really see the bangs.
That is my goal with all of my TikToks, is to have my wife say that is stupid. Wild, and I succeeded in that goal today on This Comic Cook. So check it out on YouTube and TikTok. Be sure to follow.
Thank you for giving me the rage that I'm gonna need to stay awake for the 3-hour drive home I'm about to make in a few minutes here. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Be sure to follow both of their many accounts. That Shoff and Linda, they're doing some great work on Trek Talk. And
I also
Lego
officially hit 10K, so join the family.
Yes, excellent.
So
Linda
proud
Paiges,
of you. I'm so happy for you.
Doing a fantastic job. But if you enjoyed our deep dive into Shadows of Pajama and the Holograms, don't forget to subscribe and share the show across the quadrant. And I want to leave everyone with the immortal words of my favorite half Vulcan, half gangster rapper, Spock, and say, live large and prosper.